Hey, my name's Izzy. This is Rolling Virtual Cards coming at you with another Commander video, top 20. Why top 20? Because I like to look at a lot of cards, and 20 is just kind of like the right number to see some interesting cards in Commander. So this time we're doing 6 mana. So these are the cards that cost 6 mana in Commander, and they're the 20 most used according to EDH Rec. So let's hop into it. Fiery Emancipation is number 20. 3 and 3 red for an enchantment. If a sorcery you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to a permanent or player instead. So this card is crazy. It's a push for a win, okay? You drop Fire Emancipation not for silly fun ha-has. You're dropping it because you're like, I can win. Okay, my opponents are all at 20 life. I've got triple would be, a 10 would be 30. 5 is 15, 6, 7. So you've got 7 damage on each of them. So you can deal 20 damage to each of them and win. It's a great just 6-drop enchantment finisher. And yeah, I like it for that, you know. Outside of that, like, are you going to really pay 6 mana for this? I guess if you cheat it out, it's fine. In that regard, a lot of cards can be better when you cheat them out. But honestly, this card's here just because of what that does. Being able to be a finisher in red, where, like, Gutter Snipe deals 2 damage to everyone, right? And you're a Spell Slinger deck. Well, Fire in Emancipation turns that 2 damage into 6. So all of a sudden, instead of having, like, if they're all around 20 by the time you get, I mean, this is 6 if you're casual. Maybe they're at 30, right? Well, if you're doing 6 damage, you only cast 5 spells, and you win. So, lots of things this can do. If you're dealing damage in your deck, and that's your win, Fire Emancipation can be really good. But, as you can see, there's 3 red. So I highly suggest keeping this card down to, like, 2 color cards. Unless your 3-color deck really heavily leans red. Number 19 is Ugin the Ineffable. This is 6 generic for 4 loyalty legendary planeswalker Ugin. Colorless spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. That's the main reason people run this. This just makes sure artifacts cost 0 usually. Or your colorless cards cost 0 in a colorless deck. So lots of things you can be done there. But +1, exile the top card of your library face down and look at it. Create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token. When that token leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card in your hand. So that is card advantage every turn. And like a dual card advantage. Not only will you eventually get that card into your hand, you also get a 2/2 spirit, which isn't bad. -3, destroy target permanent that has 1 or more colors. So you can't touch the artifacts, but you can touch a lot of other things. This actually does a lot more than just the colorless spells, but the colorless spells costing 2 less is the reason people run it. There's a lot of combos with since there's Divining Top that Ugin triggers because you make it free to cast from the top of your library. And other cards where you can like constantly bounce artifacts back. You can replay them for 2, and so there's a lot of things you can do with here, like with Soul Ring playing it for free. Or any 2-drop artifact ramp for free. But its +1 is great. Every turn, just going, yeah, I'm going to eventually get that card back. No one wants to remove the 2/2 because you're going to get a card advantage. Like, keep the 2/2, and you just start swinging your 2/2 at people or using it to block. So, useful. And that removal is great. You're going to see that removal. So, overall, I think Ugin the Ineffable is actually really good card advantage in a lot of ways. And she's probably seeing play a little bit more, but I get why it's 19, right? It is 6 mana. It doesn't do everything great. It's a little niche, like in Commander where a lot of little niches are. This does that, right? And I think that's 6. 6 is a lot of little niches, and the more CMC stuff is, the more niche it gets. So, cool card here at number 17 is Ojir Talk Deepest Foundation. So this is 2 and 2 white for a 6/6 legendary creature god with vigilance. If 1 or more creature tokens would be created under your control, 3 times that many tokens are created instead. When it dies, return to the battlefield tapped to transform under your control. It becomes a land that taps for a white, and then for 2 and a white, you can transform it. Activate only if you attack 3 more creatures this turn, and only as so. It's a downside, but like in the 99, it's kind of cool because it's hard to remove, right? Which I like. For 6 mana, tripling your creatures is insane, right? Your tokens. So if your commander is making 1, you're making 3. If you've got effects that make 2, you're gonna make 6. But the cool thing is if you got those X spells where like normally you're just like cast this on my opponent's instep because white has those cards for some reason, and you're gonna make like 10 tokens, well you make 30. And that can just win you the game. So this can incrementally help you, and it can just win you the game off of a card combo like that. Usually a rotation around. So again, it's not super broken, right? You're gonna play this, and then next turn you're like, okay, let's play a few things, hold some mana back, and then on your end step, cast an instant to make 10 tokens, and instead of 10 tokens, I make 30. But you also get a 6/6 with it with Vigilance, so you can still attack with it, and it can block. So you get a 6/6 attacker and blocker, plus a thing that triples your tokens. Pretty good in my opinion. I think it's, you can see with its price, it's fairly synonymous as a pretty good card. As a commander, it's not bad either. So that's 17. Let's get to 16 with Liliana Dreadhorde General. This is 4 and 2 black for 6 loyalty. Legendary Planeswalker Liliana. Whenever creature you control dies, draw a card. Right there. It's okay because it helps with accidental death, but honestly, it's better if you can remove stuff your opponent has. +1, you get a 2/2 zombie. That's fine. It's not the best. It's okay. -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures of their choice. So, watch out, my cat's gonna jump here. That was my cat, and that's my alarm. Cool. Cat tax. Here's my cat, guys. She is my cat. This is Faye. She does pretty good. But she needs to go down. She probably wants to go over there. So, and this will also trigger your stuff. So the idea here, honestly, is if you can plus this twice and then -4, you'll just sacrifice the 2 zombies. And then both zombies will die and you get to draw. And even the zombies you get, just block with them so that you get more draw out of it. It is -9, if you can get there. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. So it's kind of like a taboo to run that, to use that effect casually, because you're gonna hit, it hits lands. But if you can win the game off of it, it doesn't matter. Which you usually can. If this is 6 and you've plussed this 3 times, so you're on turn like 9, supposedly. Like, come on. Like, you're gonna swing out for enough damage to really put people on the backswing. Yeah, I think this card's pretty decent. It's better. None of its effects are great, right? Making a 2/2 zombie isn't great. Making it, like, removing 2 cards from everyone's field isn't great, and then you draw 2 cards off of that is okay. And its -9 is really strong, but kind of frowned upon. The main reason, again, is this: whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. That's why people run this. Everything else is like, okay, let's just make 2/2s, and then maybe they'll die. But the idea here is, like, if you're running an aristocrat deck, Liliana draws you cards. That's the whole point here. The rest is all kind of like icing on the cake. Like, oh, cool, keep making tokens, and I'm going to keep returning these creatures back to my field, and you can't hurt Liliana because I'm going to keep blocking, and then eventually you -9, and you have a bunch of creatures on the field, and you swarm the field and beat them up. So, and that's the general part. So, kind of cool. I like it. I think it's a fun card. But I do notice that this is the type of card that I remove on my deck when building. I'm building a deck. I'm like, oh, this would probably be pretty decent in this deck. I'm going to remove it because it's 6. 6 drops tend to get removed unless they can really push you. And this can. In the right deck where you are aristocrating properly, this card is insane and can really push you. And you just got to test it out. Test it out in the deck, remove like a 5-drop, put the Liliana in it, see how it feels in your aristocrat deck. You probably won't regret it, especially since you're going to be able to make those like 2/2 zombies, and then eventually, like, if you get that -9, you're going to feel great. Even just casting it and -4ing it, like, you still have 2 loyalty, you're drawing some cards off it. There's a lot of stuff you can get done with Liliana. So I think it's better than some people think and worse than others think. So 17's a pretty good spot with it. Let's go to 16 with Steel Hellkite. This is, man, it's dropped down. It used to be a lot higher than this, but 6 generic for a 5/5 artifact creature, dragon with flying. Pay 2. This creature gets +1/+0 till end of turn. Pay X. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X whose controller was dealt damage by this creature this turn. Activate only once each turn. So, the idea here, and this card used to be so much more. The Year of the Dragon, so cool, by the way. Used to be worth a lot more money. But, 6 for a 5/5 flyer. Okay, so that's not bad. Being able to have this, infinite mana allows Steel Hellkite to just one-shot someone, which is also pretty cool, honestly. But the main reason you use this is just to clear one problematic opponent's field. So you swing Steel Hellkite at someone, you hit them, and mana value X, permanents with mana value X. So you see, it's usually 2, and you pay 2, and you just wipe all their 2s out. Or you can pay 0 and just wipe all their tokens out. I've seen that happen too. But a lot of times it's just 2. You clear out their 2s, which removes a lot of their, like, ramp and creatures and, like, small, like, setups that they had. Other times, I have seen people use this and just paid 5 to remove their 1/5 drop that was problematic. So, couldn't block it, got 5 damage. So there's a lot you can do with this card, but it doesn't do anything on Enter, and I think this card will continue to just kind of, like, fall down the ranks because it can't do a lot the turn it comes out. It just kind of sits there. So that's why a lot of people stopped using it. And because it's so strong, people are going to remove it. So as people start to get into the middle, like, go up in, like, their gameplay, your groups get better at the game, this is going to become worse. So that's number 16. Let's go down to 15. This is Ancient Green Warden, 4 and 2 green for a 5/7 elemental creature. Reach. You may play lands from your graveyard. If a land entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, this ability triggers an additional time. So 6 for a 5/7 with reach is okay. Okay, good blockage. You can hit someone if needed. Being able to play lands from your graveyard is always nice, and there's a lot of other cards that can do that, but this one doubles those land triggers. So, where do you play this deck? It's only going to be played, again, a lot of niche, right? So far, like, a decent amount of niche cards and a decent amount of, like, generically good 6s. But this card is just ran in landfall decks. Doubling up landfall effects are so good, especially if your commander has it. Getting Ancient Green Warden on the field so then you can, like, play your fetch land from your graveyard, sack it, or triggering your landfalls, all your landfalls twice. Sack it, and then get another land, triggering them all twice is just... The turn you, the first time you do that, you go, oh, this is why I run Ancient Green Warden. And it does it right off the bat, right? You play Ancient Green Warden, you have like 2 or 3 landfall effects on the field. Fetch land, sack the fetch land, trigger all of them twice. Sack the fetch land, second land, trigger all of them twice. You go, oh, this card's amazing. And it is. It's just so strong. But it's at 15 because it's only good in landfall decks. Otherwise, you're not going to touch this card. Number 14 is Ancient Copper Dragon. This would probably see more play if it wasn't so expensive. The cheapest cost is $88. Proxy. Anyway, 4 and 2 red for a 6/5 Elder Dragon. Flying. When Ancient Copper Dragon deals combat damage to player, roll a d20. You create a number of treasure tokens equal to the result. Ancient Copper Dragon is gross, and technically can win you the game. So this card has a 1-card combo with either, I think it's Hellkite Dragon and Aggravated Assault. So as long as you have 5 or more mana, you can win the game. So it is random, but if you get Copper Dragon out and the next turn you play the 5-drop or Aggravated Assault and you have like 6-7 mana, you can swing with Copper Dragon, roll the d20. As long as you roll 5 or more, you're good. If not, you have a little leeway, but you might roll 20 and then you can just keep attacking and probably roll more or 2. So it is kind of random, but you can win the game that way, making it a funny 2-card combo, especially if you happen to be in a deck running those cards like extra combat steps for your commander that likes to hit stuff. Ancient Copper Dragon is just a way to do that. The other thing about Ancient Copper Dragon, though, is why is it so expensive? Well, it's a dragon. People like dragons. It's only ever really been printed a few times. I like that we're getting a new one, and it's like super expensive, but looks so gorgeous. Oh, look at that card. Like the rest, fine, but like this card's pretty cool too. But look at that guy, dude. Dragon of Mount Gold. That's so cool. Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy. Anyway, enough gushing around that. The thing about Ancient Copper Dragon is it's just a strong card. It's not going to win you the game, but it's going to push you to the next level. And honestly, if you're running a dragon deck, it's just good in the deck. I don't think I really like it many other places. I like it in treasure decks, and I like it in dragon decks. There's a lot of treasure decks, and there's a lot of dragon decks. And that's why it's at number 14. Number 13 is Cage Sun. This is a perfect card for monocolor decks. Honestly, actually, when I say perfect, I mean like if I'm running a monocolor deck, I put Cage Sun in the deck, okay? Cage Sun is 6 generic for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, you choose a color. Creatures you control the chosen color gets +1/+1, and whenever a land's ability causes you to add 1 or more mana of the chosen color, add 1 additional mana of that color. Your land's tap for 2. As long as you tap it for that color. So again, if you're all in green, they're all just tapping for green, and then, yeah, just say it doesn't double up your colorless in monocolor decks, okay? But it does double up your green, which is great. So all your red or whatever. And I love this. Making all your creatures a little bigger if you're going wide is great. Again, 10 damage with 10 creatures. Swinging out with Cage Sun is 10 extra damage. Okay? And doubling up the lands is the point. Again, this is one of those cards that you're going to hear is probably, oh, it's overrated. You don't need it in your monocolor decks, and you don't need it. I don't think you need anything in Commander other than like lands and cards to play with those lands, right? But Cage Sun is good in the form of like, don't play it at 6. Like, it is okay to play it if you have nothing better to do with 6 mana. But if you have better stuff to do, don't play it. But the best time to play Cage Sun is when you have 8 lands. Or if you have artifacts and creatures that can tap to help cast it. So you're only like, you have like 6 lands and you like have 3 mana from creatures and you have 3 lands and you can play it. Then you have 6 mana all of a sudden still off your lands. That's the time to play it, because now you can do something else. The best time to ramp with these big ramps is when you can use the ramp the turn it comes down. So that's where Cage Sun comes in. It's the reason why it's at 13. It's a really strong card. I suggest running it in any monocolor deck. You won't regret it. At number 12, Niv Mizzet Perun is 3 blue and 3 red for a 5/5 legendary creature dragon wizard. This spell can't be countered. Flying. When you draw a card, it does 1 damage to any target. When a player casts an instant spell, you draw a card. This card does so much. Do not play it in 3 or more colors. You won't be able to cast it. But do play it in Izzets. Even if it's not your commander, just make it your commander. It's such a fun commander. It's such a fun commander. I don't know how else to really push that. Niv Mizzet Perun is a fun commander. It's overplayed, but it's so fun. I've built it 5 times, I think, and I keep tearing it apart because I keep going, it's so overplayed. But, like, it's hard to cast, but once it's out on the field, in the 99 or as the commander, it can't be countered, so it just hits the field. You have a 5/5 flyer who can keep putting pressure on your opponents by hitting them, and then, like, oh, my opponent cast an instant sorcery. Cool, I'm going to draw a card. And then you just run counter spells in your Izzet deck, who would have thought, to protect it. And when you counter something, you draw 2 cards and deal 2 damage. So either you're controlling the field or just dealing damage to people's face. And that's the point. That's the thing about Niv. It does so much. And it's so strong. And it's just a lot of card advantage for what it's doing. It's not gonna... Okay, so it can win you the game because you can just win with a 1-card combo with it. Well... A 1-card combo, I guess it's 2 because you play it and then an instant sorcery, but that's besides the point. Or actually, you just tell your opponents they can't cast instant sorceries. With that curiosity, because then you draw a card every time Niv deals the damage, and then you just kill everyone. So that's fun. But the thing with Niv is, other than that, it's just a really fun commander and a very good card in Izzet decks. If you're playing an Izzet spell slinging deck, put it in there. I don't know if they take commander decks into consideration when they talk about the best cards, or if it's just the 99. Either way, yeah, this card's great at number 12. I think we're at 12. Give me a sec. I was correct. It is 12. Okay. Number 11. Elspeth, Sun's Champion. This is a pet card of mine. I love this card. Let's see if there's any cool... Oh, yeah, the mouse. Oh, yeah, Chibi. Chibi's so cool. Chibi's best. The 20th anniversary is so dumb, but yeah, Chibi's the best version of this. Plus, the mouse is pretty cool. But let's talk about it. 4 and 2. Oh, it's going to be in Pioneer Masters. Cool. 4 and 2 white. For 4 loyalty, legendary Planeswalker Elspeth. +1, you get 3 1/1 white social creatures. Right off the bat there, that's just not bad, okay? If you're doing a swing wide deck or a token deck, like imagine the tripler, right? With Elspeth. You have the tripler, then you cast Elspeth next turn. Instead of making 3 1/1s, you make 9. Good luck hitting Elspeth without a flyer, right? Even with just the 3 1/1s, good luck hitting Elspeth without a flyer, right? And if you're playing a token deck or a go wide strategy, you have ways to buff these tokens. They're probably not 1/1s anymore, so lots to do there. You can also just drop it in -3, destroy all creatures with power 4 or greater. If you're going wide, your creatures are probably not big until the last second. And so all of a sudden, like, you just remove all the big problems that are there. And it's -7 wins you the game usually. So you get an emblem with creatures you control, get +2/+2, and a flying. That's also just a really strong idea, right? Being able to really just like creatures you control get +2/+2 and a flying is just such a good emblem, because all of a sudden, like, all those tokens you've been making, like, okay, 3 whites, so that's 7. So you need to do it 3 times, and then you pull it. So that's 9 tokens that all of a sudden are 3/3s with flyers. So Elspeth the Sun's Champion does a lot. I think it's really unique and powerful, and it's just a really good 6-drop Elspeth at number 12. Number 11 is Consecrated Sphinx. This card's insane. Proxy it. 4 and 2 blue for a 4/6 Sphinx with flying. When an opponent draws a card, you may draw 2 cards. So you can't be decked out with this, because it's a May. But what this does do is it just gives you a lot of draw. This card does so much and needs to be removed on the spot, because you pass and then your opponent goes to draw a card, you draw 2. Protect it. You're in blue. Run counter spells to protect Consecrated Sphinx. Don't let them kill it, because you're going to get a lot of card advantage off of this. And if it's 2, 4, 6, you draw 6 cards by that turn. What's even more fun is if you wheel with this card. You wheel on, like, you wheel and everyone draws like 5 cards. 5, 5, 5. That's 15. So you draw 20 cards extra, plus the 5, so 25 cards, and you probably won the game there. So Consecrated Sphinx is insane. It's such a good card. It's actually seeing play competitively, like in CEDH, just because people are realizing, like, they're in mid-range hell right now there, and this card's just such a good mid-range card. Oh, you want to draw a card? Cool, I'm going to draw 2. Or you're going to choose not to, because, yeah, I got it. I get you. So, such a good card. I also love the art. I don't like that art, but I love the OG art. I think it's so cool. It's such a creepy Sphinx, guys. Sphinxes are terrifying. I love it. This is just a really good card, and honestly, put it in your deck if you can. And now we get to the top 10. Top 10. Number 10 is Warstorm Surge. 5 in a red for an enchantment. When a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. This is a win con, and it's used more so. Okay, so like you have like the small things where like Intruder Alarm, deal 1 damage to everyone. Why is Warstorm Surge more? Well, because it turns your like 5 power creatures, your 6, your 7, into dealing that much damage to any target. So not only is it removal, it's also damage to people's face. But honestly, so it wins off of infinite blinks and stuff, or infinite ETBs. True. And that's part of the win con with it. But other than that, dropping this card turn 6, and now all your creatures can also just remove problematic cards or just hit your opponent in the face, is pretty good. And like a lot of times people will ignore it because it's not doing enough. Like casually people aren't sitting here going, oh, he's going to combo for win. That's not the point. What they see is they go like, that's just going to be annoying. But it's not terrible. Like, okay, you're playing dragons and you cast your Warstorm Surge and you cast your dragon into 6-drop and you pop someone's thing. You can argue, oh, don't hit me, hit that guy. He's the problem, right? And that adds fun. So Warstorm Surge is really good, and it works with tokens. So like if you're like running a dragon that makes dragon tokens, this can be used pretty good to make, oh, here's my 5/5 dragon. Like big tall tokens are pretty good with this card. So that's why it's number 10. It's just a really good control piece that can be a winner. Number 9 is Massacre Worm. 3 and 3 black for a 6/5 Phyrexian Worm. When it enters the battlefield, or when it enters, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end turn. When a creature your opponent control dies, that player loses 2 life. This can be really dangerous. If your opponents are running tokens, this can just end them. Oh look, I killed 10 of your tokens, there's 20 of your life, right? But like, so it's 6 drop for a small board wipe that also does a lot of damage to your opponents, and then whenever their creatures start dying, they start losing more. So it really pushes you to, like, I don't know. So like, it does something on ETB, which is really strong, right? Like War Storm Surge doesn't, but Massacre Worm hits the field, wipes your opponent's small stuff. Okay, any green deck, any white deck, any red deck that are just any go wide deck is going to lose a bunch of stuff and take damage. Okay. The secondary effect of whenever a creature your opponent controls dies, this player loses 2 life. Well, you have a 6/5 you're going to be swinging with, but now, like, if they block, they lose 2 life regardless. So now you're doing it. You have a way to just, like, okay, let's just play control, remove stuff, and if you start blinking Massacre Worm, it can be pretty scary. But honestly, like, that second part isn't going to win you the game. It's just a really good board wipe, honestly, that also could win you the game depending on the situation. I think it can be kind of overrated, but I see where it's coming from. If you can blink it, though, you could probably wipe their fields. But then again, if they're not a creature deck, you're not going to win off of it against them. And that's the problem, okay? You don't win off this. You just kind of, like, set them back. And so I think it's a little overrated, in my honest opinion, okay? So I don't like that it's number 9. I think there's better things you could run, honestly. Because again, if you're not playing against a creature deck, what does it do? So, number 8 is Rampaging Boloths. This is 4 and 2 green for 6/6 beast with trample. Landfall, when land is better under control, create a 4/4 green beast creature token. Now you might think this is only for landfall decks. That's not true. This just in a casual deck, so you get a 4/4 beast each turn, isn't bad. In a landfall deck, you don't know if it's a landfall deck. You can just tell, this is remove on site. Just remove it, it's problematic. But in a casual deck, it's like, okay, cool, you get a 4/4 each turn. That's not bad. Oh, you run a fetch land, you get 2 4/4s, but that can get out of hand. And with a 6/6 trampler, you're going to be swinging with this to take people out. So it can get out of hand, and I think it's just generically pretty decent on its own, and it's a great win con and landfall deck. So that's what makes this number 8. I think that was 8. Yeah, this was 10, 9, 8. Yep. So number 7 is Bolas Citadel. This is one of my favorite cards. So 3 and 3 black for a legendary artifact. When you may look at the top card of the library at any time. You may play the top card of the library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to the converted mana cost rather than the base mana cost. Tap, sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. So that 10 life I have used to win a game. Kind of funny. But the other parts of the Bolas Citadel is just good. The whole point is that you just keep digging through your deck, hoping to find a win, and always get blocked by that second land that you can't drop, right? So yeah, Bolas Citadel can also just win you the game with a combo. This plus top plus Aetherflux Reservoir gives you infinite life, and then you can just blow everyone up with Aetherflux Reservoir. And it's one of my favorite card combos. I have a deck that runs it. I only have one deck that runs it because the issue with Bolas Citadel is it's boring to play against. And I don't like playing decks that are boring for people to play against. I think that's unfair to a lot of people. But it's a really good card. Good enough that it can see play in certain CEDH decks, but not too many. But yes, Bolas Citadel is a strong card. I really like it. Give it a try. It's not for everyone. Casually though, if you're not like using this as a combo piece, just getting some extra cards off the top of your deck that you don't have to spend mana on is pretty good. So that's why it's number 7. Number 6 is Sun Titan. Wait, 7. 10, 9, 8, 7, yeah. Number 6 is Sun Titan. Classic. 4 and 2 white for a 6/6 creature giant vigilance. When this enters the battlefield, return target permanent card with mana value 3 less when you grave it to the battlefield. And it's a 6/6. Oh, that's cool. Secret Lair. So it enters and does something. It instantly gets your card back from your hand, and then whenever you attack, you get a card back. So here's the thing. Test playing decks has a problem. You normally don't test play your cards being removed. So Sun Titan seems bad test playing wise. But if you test play where a lot of cards are being removed constantly, right? Flip a coin to see if it's removed, or roll a dice if it's 5 or 6 the card gets removed, right? And like flip a coin and only do it if it's cards you would care to remove, right? If you're like, oh, get rid of that card, flip a coin, right? But Sun Titan hits the field and boom, you get a card back. And then next turn it attacks and boom, you get a card back. And every turn, and if you're sacrificing these cards, you get a lot back, and it's mana value 3 or less. So you can do this with like Command Sphere and like tap it for mana, attack it, and get it back with Sun Titan. So there's a lot you can do with Sun Titan. It's a great engine card on its own if you're running cards that sacrifice themselves. I'd love to see this as on a commander. I think the Titans would be great as commanders. All of them would be fun. But yeah, there's like a really interesting like idea to be had with Sun Titan. And it's just a great recursion piece. So that's why it's here. It's great for recursion. So that's what makes it number 6. Top 5. Number 5 is Atali Primal Storm. This is my wife's deck. 4 and 2 red for a 6/6 legendary creature, Elder Dinosaur. When Atali attacks, exile the top card of each opponent's library. Then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana cost. Atali just gives you 4 cards for free every time it attacks. It's crazy. This is just a really good card advantage engine. It does so much. And yes, she has the... it's not there. She has this guy. Yeah. She has the cereal box here. So, but yeah, Atali just does a lot. It really, really helps you. Oh, there we go. It really helps you. It really pushes that like card advantage. The issue is it's not on ETB, so it's a remove on site, and that's problematic. You really need to find a way to give it haste, and then it's good. But without that haste, people aren't going to ignore it. They're going to remove it, and you're going to be sad. So you need to find a way to give it haste or protection in some way, shape, or form. So I really like Atali in equipment decks or Voltron decks, even if it's not the commander, because you can, all those like safety stuff you can put onto it to help it. I get why it's high up. This makes me really think that they probably use these cards in, that's a cool foundation card, honestly, though. They probably use these cards in, what's it called? They probably take commander decks into consideration, because this is a very popular commander. Simple to run, fun, you can build around it. It's a much better commander than I think it is in the 99, because again, if it hits the field without protection or haste, it's not going to do anything. People are going to remove it. So problematic there, but as a commander, it's really fun. So number 4 is Rishkar's Expertise. 4 and 2 green for sorcery. Draw a card. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. You may cast a spell with mana value 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So this card kind of gives you a free spell, which is nice, and draws you a lot of cards. So if your commander is like 5 or more power, I think this card's pretty decent. If it's not, I wouldn't. But as long as it's 5 or more power, Rishkar's Expertise is going to draw you a lot of cards. And that's just going to let you cast another card for free, which could be more card draw, or could just be a combo piece, or just a generically good advantage piece of some form, or just a bad removal spell. Or a good remove spell, or some sort. So it does a lot, and that just really gives you that advantage. And like, yeah, this is what green does, right? Green looks like, oh, your commander's like a 12-12, cool, let's draw 12 cards, and then drop a card in the field. So this card's pretty good, and I can see where it's coming in. Again, green needs that draw, and this really helps with that if their cards are powerful. So that's number, I think 4. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Number 3 and number 2. Oh, no, okay, so yeah, that was number 3. So 2 and 1 are They're the same thing. Almost. Austere command is 4 and 2 white. Which is the same as farewell. 4 and 2 blue. Or 4 and 2 white, okay? Austere is a sorcery, just like farewell. Austere, choose 2. Destroy all artifacts, destroy all enchantments, destroy all creatures with mana value 3 or less, destroy all creatures with mana value 4 or greater. And you choose 2. So, if you're a creature deck, just hit everyone's artifact enchantments. If you're a non-creature deck, hit all their creatures. If you're a low-to-the-ground artifact creature deck, hit their big stuff and their enchantments. If you're an enchantment creature deck, maybe you're low to the ground, so you hit their big stuff. Yeah, so you get to choose 2. It's pretty good. A lot of choice. Great board wipe. Farewell is choose 1 or more. Exile all artifacts, all creatures, all enchantments, all graveyards. So this is graveyard hate, enchantments, creatures, and an artifact. So if you're an artifact deck, hit everything else. If you're a graveyard deck, hit these guys. If you're creature deck, hit the others. If you're enchantment deck, hit the other 3. So like you can kind of, you're enchantment creature deck, hit artifacts and graveyard. So very good flexible board wipes at 6, and that's why they're here. There's not a lot of great flexible board wipes, and Farewell and Austere Command really just do that the best. Why is Farewell above it? Because exiling gets around indestructible and prevents people from recurring stuff, and hitting graveyards is pretty useful. So, plus you don't have to choose 2. So sometimes you don't want to choose the 2 here. You just want to choose 1. You just want to hit artifacts. So that's the point. It's really good. I think they're great. Overall, I can see why they're number 1 and 2, like respectively. I think board wipes are just underplayed, and these are the 2 most seen board wipes. If you have board wipes and you run white, you're probably running these. So that's the idea. Yeah. Don't forget, I guess that's the end of the video though. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to let me know what your favorite 6-drop is in Commander down below. Everyone have a nice night. Peace.